recorded. Morning.
Hey, Richard. How you doing?
All right. Your computer working?
Eh, Complicated for me.
Oh, is it?
It's uncomfortable. I have to go there and sit. My back's hurting me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See me up close.
The phone's working just as good. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Phone's working just as good.
Yeah. Took me a minute to figure it out.
Okay.
Got it working though. I told somebody asked me, I asked me what your name was, and I said Richard. What's his last name? And I was, oh shit. I don't remember. Then I told him about the Conjured Self, so I thought, well, maybe
Yeah.
they'll look at your site. Something I can remember.
Huh.
Something has to do with self, of course, right?
Indeed.
Oh man, I had a weird dream last night. It's weird. It's like, I dream almost every night, but some dreams are like just mundane kind of stuff. It's like I don't even really, it's like I know it's not, it's like nothing sticky, so to speak, and nothing sticks in there. So, but anyways,
Right.
last night I dreamt that George brought home a tiger, and I was like, he put it in the back, or I did. One of us put it in the. It wasn't our actual house, but it was this house that we were in apparently, and uh, putting it in the backyard, and I seen it was like had a sliding glass door, which we don't
Yeah.
even have one, but it had a sliding glass door, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna work out. Yeah. This is gonna eat our cats because I seen our little cat Leo run across there, and I was like, I don't think it's gonna work. We should call a rescue center or something. It was like, just seeing this tiger walk in my backyard, it was just, or this enclosure was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, silly dream. Then George tells me, "Oh, it's the year of the tiger." I said, "Oh, okay, well, okay, whatever that means." By Chinese, maybe it means something good or something bad. Shit,
Well, they say our dreams mean
mean
that
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, are symbolic.
yeah,
That our dreams are symbolic.
yeah. I really don't know. I mean, it's like one answer jumped out at me. It's like, well, that's so simple. I don't even need a fucking dream to interpret that. I already knew that before I went to sleep. So why would why would I fucking dream about something that already who knows?
Right.
But it don't matter. Then I jump out my mom, dang it, and then now I forgot. Oh, yeah, okay. I do remember now. I was fighting with her ex-husband, my stepdad, but it was funny because I had like I couldn't. I was like, one of those dreams where you like, can't do anything. I wanted to so bad. It's silly. Which is funny is because I really don't have any animosity towards him anymore. Like I used to really, hate him a lot and everything, but I kind of just chalked it up to, that's just what happened. It's really not his fault or, you know, is his fault, but isn't his fault kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't hate him for it anymore. One time I would have loved, I really did hate him, but I just kind of feel like, everyone's just doing their thing, whether they realize it or not. I guess they're just doing it. So You know what I mean? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Some things really suck, you know, like I wouldn't say he was a pleasant stepdad, that's for sure. But the same way he doesn't haunt me. Like, you know, that's the first time I even thought about him in a long time, which is funny. And the argument that was funny, the reason he was my mom, he was mad, he was wanting me to do something. My mom, I remember her leaving the bedroom that he came out of. She goes, well, I don't remember anybody saying that he had to do anything. So I don't know what the hell that was about, that he came out and made him. So I don't know. It was silly.
In a sense, that's kind of true, really. There isn't anything to do, is there?
Yeah. Yeah. That was, yeah. I was listening to Paul today. I thought he'd rub it in that he was in Hawaii a little more, but he didn't.
Oh.
Nah, it's all good.
So he finally traveled. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Hawaii apparently, and had a little meeting there. That was fun, I guess. I mean, you know, I think he's a good speaker. I enjoy his speaking, or you know, sat sayings. Yes,
Yeah.
he you know, some people, it just seems like they focus so much on the absence, and it just seems like, you know, nothing, there's nothing, there's no one, there's no one, there's nothing. But you know, and then occasionally they'll mention, well, this is everything, you know, and it's just like, there seems like, I don't know, maybe because it's a process, or I don't understand, but I just feel like, you know, I think it leaves me feeling a negative, rather than, you know, that it should be, you know, like they talk about that empty fullness. It's like, maybe people shouldn't leave feeling so empty sometimes, you know. I mean, not that anybody's in control of that, but you know, like, maybe try to leave some good more everything stuff and less nothing stuff towards the end, you know. It's like, maybe abolish people's hopes, and you know, there's nothing to hang on to. It's like, well, actually there is, you know, there is everything, you know, like you said, you know, it's the infinite appearing, you know, small, so to speak, you know, to simplify it for me. You know, so, you know, then there's a little bit of, you know, it's like not such an emptiness, but in some ways I was thinking about that too. It's like, maybe the emptiness, when somebody tells you, you know, that there's nothing, and then you, if you don't really believe that, you're forced to look, right? You have to look in yourself. Is that true? Is that true? Is there really fucking nothing? So I don't know, you know, in that way, it's like, you know, you can't. So it's like, you know, I'm not trying to be down on people, but in the same way, I'm like, you know, there's this thing going through my head. Like, I understand, I can get where they're coming from too. Like, you know, maybe that's, you know, when he says there's nothing here, it's like, because, you know, you ain't going to get anything. You have to, it's all in there, you know, figure it out, basically. You know, they always talk about pointers and shit. So, but yeah, when somebody says there's nothing to me, I just, you know, it's like, of course I can't accept that. I really can't accept that there's like, because when I hear nothing, that means there's no God, there's no observer, there's no spark, there's, you know, it's just an illusion. And it's like, if it's an illusion, fucking somebody has to, an illusion comes from fucking somewhere. You know, I don't mean to sound so negative, but you know, it's like, come on, if there's dreaming or dreams, or if I'm a dreamt or a fucking whatever, then that means it's coming from something, right? I mean, you can't have complete, because you know, this one William, he said it. He goes, "We've been," or somebody said, "We've been friends for a long time." You know, this other person was speaking. I shouldn't use people's names. I don't want to. I shouldn't be rude like that. But these two people were speaking, and they said that. He goes, I think it's all bullshit what you're saying. And I said, you know, I was feeling that. I didn't say that. I mean, I was thinking to myself when he said that. I was like, I was feeling the same fucking way. and then a few minutes later, something said, and it's like, well, I kind of get that. And then it's like, well, maybe I just don't get the other part yet. That's what my brain tries to tell me. And so it's like, I don't know. And then you hear something else. It's like things just kind of sometimes, I don't mean unfold, but like it seems like, I don't know, there's a guidance, or in that way things unfold, like information or insights unfold. That would be an unfolding to me. Like things make sense, that kind of unfolding. Like or appear to make sense, because as soon as you try to make sense, sometimes it's like the mirage disappears. It's like, nope, try again. So I don't know.
They're all thoughts that are entertained, is what they are.
Yeah.
And the thoughts that are entertained are seemingly so, and appearances of everything. So that's the everything that people are describing, I would imagine. I would say everything that appears before somebody, there's somebody somewhere, and they
Right.
say, well, if they say that they're here, that's a place that they feel that they are. They feel that they exist upon
Right.
some place, but
In
there
some
is
kind
no,
of level.
but there is no place to appear. And yet, whenever the body looks upon a mirror and they see the image, or they say, well, that's me, and that's where it falls away.
Well, when I look in the mirror and I see what's looking back at me, I'm like, oh fuck, how did I end up with that?
Yeah, you wonder, well,
that
how
don't
am I
feel like what's
appearing?
behind my eyeballs.
Am I controlling
I
this
got
appearance?
tricked.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can ask yourself, you can ask yourself, well, how and why am I appearing? Am I appearing because I exist? Well, I must
Yeah.
exist because there's an appearance in a mirror. But the thing of it is, that appearance of the mirror is not really us. But how can we claim that and say that? No, it has to be us, because we have this feeling of being in a body. Well, that feeling of being in a body is a sense of a separate self, and that's where it all begins and ends from there.
Identification, huh?
Yeah, self-identification.
Got identified with the body.
Yeah, the body. So there's a body mind, and then we believe we're that.
Okay.
So then we go on entertaining thoughts about that. And that's where it all starts. It all starts and ends there. There really is no beginning and there is no ending to anything. That's the paradox. The paradox of appearing is believing, well, we exist because we appear. This appearance that we're seeing. So if we see with the eyes that are seeing is just a visual field.
Right.
And that visual field is energy, and the energy that we see, we believe that. We believe what we see. So if we believe what we see, then that's what makes everything that appears real to us. But everything that's apparent is just an appearance, is all it is.
Right.
But we turn it into something significant. Everything that we see, everything that we gaze our eyes upon. Now we're saying our eyes, we're saying these eyes of this body are ours. Now, how and why do we make that claim? Well, we make that claim because we have a feeling of a sense of individuality, a sense of being, of existing. And so, but that's the conundrum, that's the paradox. How can I feel any other way other than the way that I feel now? And so when you say now, then you're referring to time. But time's not real either. But we say it's real, and we look at a clock and we see the seconds going by. That's how we keep track of time. But keeping track of time as moments go by, you wonder, well, that's time. Time is always constantly moving forward. There's always one moment and then the next moment and the next moment. These moments in time we seem to appear upon. We're appearing in time. And it takes time for an appearance to appear.
Mhm.
So if it takes time, then that's
Doctors?
what we
There's
believe.
one
We
up there.
have to believe that because that's what is witnessed, what is seen. What is seen is what is witnessed. We believe that because it appears to be that way to us. So if everything appears to be appearing before us, then that must be what reality is to us. So if reality appears a certain way, well, that's how reality is appearing to us.
Yeah.
And so we ask others that we claim there are others around us. So if we claim there are others around us, and these others are appearing as we do. So if we're looking in a mirror, or we're looking at a visual field or a computer monitor, the monitor is kind of similar to a mirror. But if we're looking at that, we're believing that that is us, that we are appearing as that body. And so that's how we represent ourselves. How else are we going to appear? And then make a claim, well, that's me. Or here I am. I am here. I am in this body. I am in this room. And so that feeling of presence becomes familiar to us because we learned it. We learned it and kept it going for so many years. And so many years in time did we keep this appearance going. Now, how do we keep appearances going? We're not really causing this body to appear.
Oops.
It's just appearing anyway. And if it's appearing, then it's real to us. And if it's real to us, and then we see others that are in a world, in a reality that we envision, that we visually see, that's the best we can do. That's the best we can know. Now, knowing and seeing and being, all of these words that we use are concepts. These words we use are concepts, and that's all that they are because we're speaking. If we don't speak, does that mean we're not there or here or in time, in space and time? Well, we are, but we're claiming that. So these claims that we're making somehow substantiates our realness or how real we feel. If we feel real, then that's the best we can do. That's the best that anybody can know about. So if I know I'm real, then I must be real. This must be true. This must be a actual real reality that's happening. that I'm here in a room, in a body and a mind, and you have your body and mind, and this is our appearance. And so we think about that for a moment, and yet either it sticks or it makes sense to us or it doesn't. But it's a funny thing because that is the paradox. It's really both. It feels like we're real and everything's appearing, but at the same time, we don't have that real feeling of a presence unless we, let's say, rub our fingers together or hold our hands together and thinking, well, these are my hands, and this body is mine. Well, we're claiming it's ours because we feel that we know it. So if we feel we know that, that's what makes it real. What makes anything real to us is anything that we see, anything that we sense, we hear it, we see it, we taste it. Then we say, well, we know it. It is known because the feeling is there. The appearance and the feeling of rubbing fingers together. If I do that, that action is rubbing my fingers together. But that's all that is. It's a claiming. It's a proclamation to say that these are my hands and this is the activity of rubbing fingers together. And this action that's happening is real to us because we appear to be the controller of this body mind. If we're controlling this body mind and it's appearing, then that must be the way that it is. It cannot be any other way. It's apparently the way it appears. Now, if it's an apparent appearance, does that make that appearance real? Well, it's real to us. So if it's real to us, then it must be real. How can it be unreal? How can we say, well, that appearance is just another body mind? So I'm not really going to make that claim. Well, you can't undo that either. Just as Paul says, self cannot get out of self.
Right.
He says that, doesn't he? Many times. That's what he means. He means we appear as body mind action figures. We appear that way, but that's all that's seemingly going on or happening. We're appearing, but we're not causing that appearance to appear. We're not causing our own body to appear. It's appearing anyway. So that right there is kind of the crux of reality. The crux of reality is that we're appearing. And this appearance is appearing within the appearance of everything else. So everything else that's appearing, we're appearing in it. But if you ever get that feeling that we're appearing, but it's temporary, it's a temporary appearance because it feels temporary. If it does not feel temporary, then how else can you exist or can we exist? We exist because we think we do. It's all in the thinking. It's all in the thought processes. So we're processing thoughts that come along within this mind of the body mind. But if we say that this is my mind, then we're still
Oh gosh.
acting upon an appearance.
What are you doing, Leo?
So I'm on a public or on a Zoom.
So that's the paradox right there. Am I real? Do I exist? Well, you exist because you think you do. It's just a belief. That's all it really is. And just notice how much reality
No.
that we place on this appearance.
Are you
Just
leaving?
notice that, we rely a reliance on beliefs and knowings and things of that nature. Things of that nature spring up. And when I mean they spring up, the thoughts and ideas can be entertained, but they could just as easily be released. We can seize and release thoughts so easily. And with that ease, there apparently appears to be somebody doing that. And that somebody that's doing it is believed to be us. Our own body, our own mind. So this is what we call it. We call this body and mind ours. This is my mind. This is my body. These are my thoughts. I'm entertaining. This is my time that I'm using. See, we personalize everything that we sense to be real to
Hang
us.
on.
So we personalize everything. Yeah.
Oh. Whining about Molly. Where you at? I hear her barking. You can play now. Come on. Are you stuck? What are you birds doing? Hmm. What are you barking at, Molly? What are you whining about? What you want? You think you're hungry? Is that what it is? Are you stuck? I can't tell. Boy, this poor dog, she's on her last legs, really. Today her back legs weren't working very good. So I don't know if that's what it is or let's see. Are you just hungry or what, Molly? Hang on a minute.
Anyway,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Anyway, these statements that I'm making are being stated. Okay, I'm saying these things. And when I say that I'm saying these things, it's a statement that I'm making, but it also sounds like I'm proclaiming that. I'm proclaiming that I'm making statements and I'm speaking, and you're in the act of hearing it.
Right.
So these actions that appear to be happening, their appearance is happening, but that's all they really are. They're just appearances. And this body mind that we call our own body is really just an appearance of a body, but yet the appearance itself, we claim it. So that's where it begins and ends. That sense of being real, of believing and feeling that we are real and that we're alive and that we exist. We can't say we do not exist. We have to believe it. In other words, if we're appearing, then that means we're alive. And if we're alive, we're appearing,
Yeah.
then that's good enough. For most people, that is good enough. That we say we're appearing. Although it's just an appearance, the appearance that's appearing is believed and taken to be real. So if that appearance is taken to be real, then that is what we believe to be true or believe to be so. It's true to us because we're appearing. I mean, how else can you see that? It's demonstrated. It's known. How is this known to us?
Shit.
Well, this appearance is known to us because we witness it. We see it happen. We're observing. But that which we're observing is just an appearance. And yet, that appearance is taken to be real. So that's all it is. All that our life appears to be are a series of appearances. We're appearing to do this, we're appearing to do that. We're observing the body mind taking action, doing different various tasks, various things. But we do it habitually by habit.
Yeah.
The things that we do in our lives are just habits.
I heard that
Yes,
twice
habits that
today.
are formed. Yeah.
It's not the first time.
Yeah. That's not the first time you've heard that, is it? No.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's like lately, it's like I wonder, it's like, is this Google? Is this Google's algorithms, man? Why is like themes happen today's theme? Today's theme is like, you start hearing this kind of thing over and over again.
Yeah, if you speak about it, yeah, if you talk about it, then we're giving it reality. We give everything reality. In other words, reality requires
our belief,
us to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
It requires us to acknowledge it. So if we acknowledge reality as it appears, we're acknowledging a moment in space and time is all we're doing.
Come here, Molly.
And we're acknowledging moments in space and time. So if we're acknowledging moments in space and time, that is what comprises our reality. When I say our reality are temporary appearances of this body mind action figure.
Yeah.
But that's all that they are. They're just continuous moments in space and time. And we're appearing in this reality because we're alive and we feel we're alive. And that's the best that we can do, the best that we can know. We know we're alive because we visualize it, we see it, we witness it. So everything that we're witnessing, we believe it. We believe it because we see it with these eyes. Now I could say these eyes, I could say my eyes. I'm not going to say my eyes because that's the difference.
What?
I don't really believe that these are my eyes. I believed it for many, many years, though. But that's what that was. What that was a story of a me believing that this body mind was mine and that that birth certificate was mine and that belonged to me. So the belonging, the sense of belonging, that is what comprises individuality. And that is just a concept. That's all that is. That's just a story of the body mind. Either that continues that way, where the body mind continues to say, well, yes, this is another day. This is a Sunday morning. This day is the 13th of February. That's the month that I appear to be in. See, we're saying we're in. We're in
Molly.
space and time. We're in space and time. We're in a month of February. Are we really? So we really ask ourselves, in agreement though. This is an agreement. We believe that we are in the month of February and that today is the 13th day. And that the year is 2022. We're in agreement of that.
Molly, come here.
But that's all that makes that so. So anything that we believe, we make it so by believing in it. So that which we believe to be true is what's true to us. Now, if we don't believe any of it, does that make it unreal? If we're let's say we drop all those ideas, is it still true? If we drop all these ideas that today's the 13th day of February, the year of 2022, if we drop that, does that still make it so? We can't really drop it, can we? Because we just stated that. We said it, we admitted it, and we say, we make statements about time. These statements that we make sound like claims. They do. They sound like claims because we're stating them. But are we really speaking? No, it appears to be that we're speaking, yes. Speaking about things that appear to be real to us. Well, the appearance, that appearance is real to us because we see it. If we're stating with these voices that we use of the body mind, we can say, well, this is my voice and I'm speaking to you. See, my name is so-and-so. See, my name is Richard Trevino, and that's
See,
my
I have
name.
to get Tarantino. Richard
Yeah.
Tarantino.
So there it is. I'm stating that because I'm making that claim. But that sounds fine. That sounds okay to us, doesn't it? It sounds valid. The validation is there. The verification is there. It's here. We're witnessing it. It appears to be so. It appears to be true. So then we accept that. We accept the fact that since I'm appearing, and I'm telling you that I'm appearing, then this is so.
I want to know if you noticed I appeared as a dog.
Yes, this appearance, these appearances are appearing real to us. So we acknowledge them. We acknowledge what we see, what we witness, and what we see and witness, we say, well, do you see that body mind action figure? You see that. But the moment that I say and make that claim that, yeah, that's me, you see, you're looking at me.
Right.
And when we say that, does that really make it so? Is that really true? Because I'm telling you that what you're seeing is me. And if I'm saying, well, that body mind is me, and you're believing that, that's the only thing that keeps reality intact, so to speak. What keeps everything intact? Everything that appears to be real to us, because it's appearing and we see it. So if we see it, what we're seeing is true to us because we see it. If we didn't see it, it wouldn't be true to us, would it?
Yeah, that's so true, man. It's like that
Everything
makes
that
me
we
always
see, yeah,
makes me wonder what the hell's happening that I don't see. It's like what I
right.
don't notice, right?
Yeah, but look at what we're noticing. We're noticing and only seeing just a very, very small portion
Yeah, honey.
of reality.
He went to go get dog food because I guess Molly's hungry.
I know she's sitting in the kitchen and she can't move. She keeps barking.
I know. I don't know what to do about it.
She won't move. I'm trying to help her. Lucy, shut up. She probably wants to let you just look at her.
And
You're not being nice. Get him.
Cats and
well,
dogs.
yes, it's a zoo, man. I'm telling you. I never wanted this when I was a kid. I hated all the animals because my parents had way too many.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I do. I know I do. I can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like having kids. It's like, except for now they're old enough to take care of themselves, the kids. My grandkids, but these dogs, I can't, it's like, who's gonna feed them? They won't
They
feed
can't feed
themselves.
themselves, can they? Yeah.
They can't go out to go to the bathroom. It's like, it's worse. Don't get pets, have kids. I get it now. That's why the Pope said that. It's like, you'll have freedom eventually. Shit.
That's such a funny thing, though. These appearances that we give labels to, these action figures, these body minds. This action figure, I call it my own. This is my own body. This is me. It's not really real. I don't believe it anymore. I used to believe that. But that's the difference. That is the difference now. I don't really believe it anymore. I used to believe that. So it's believing in these appearances that this body mind action figure is appearing, but I no longer take it to be me. See, that's the difference. I don't take this body mind to be my own. I used to proclaim that, but once that proclamation was dropped, then everything else fell away.
Molly.
And that's what that falling away means, that collapse. The collapse of a separate sense of self. That's what that means, that awakening, the enlightening. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is admitting a fact. And this is a fact. The fact that these appearances of a body mind are just that's all they are, just appearances. So either I'm going to believe this appearance to be me, or I'm not going to believe it to be me.
Yeah.
But either way, doesn't really matter. If you think about it, either way doesn't matter. If I believe this appearance of a body mind to be me, then that's fine. I'm believing in that, and that's the story.
Right.
And I can
Yeah.
stick to that story, and I could stick to the story, and it sounds believable. And since it is, then that's going to be the story that is told. A story that is told about the appearance of this body mind action figure. And so it goes about doing and knowing. All these doings and knowings are its own story. Its own story that it proclaims. It proclaims that it's doing and it's knowing this, that, and the other. And that is all it ever knows. All it ever knows is things that it does, that it appears to be doing, things that it knows, knowing and doing. That's all that life appears to be. All life appears to be is that which I know, and that which I do, I'm taking action, doing various things, various tasks. Feels real. It feels real. It feels like I'm doing it. If I get up off a chair and I walk from this room into the next, that's what I'm saying that I'm doing. I'm saying I'm doing that because that's an action that I'm taking. See, I believe that I take actions. If I believe I take actions, that means these actions that I'm taking are choices that I'm making. I'm making choices every single day, every moment in space and time. I'm making these choices. How am I doing that? Am I doing that just out of habit? Just out of appearance? Just out of these appearances that these habits of taking action are appearing to happen? They are. They're appearing to happen. They appear real. They appear real to us. And if
Okay.
everything that we do, say, and do appears real to us, that is what apparently appears to be our life. We say that that's our life we're living. We apparently appear to know and do things, and the things that we know and do comprises our life. And that's the truth to us. We tell these stories because we can. We tell these stories and we mention them and we say, well, this appears to be what's happening. Things that appearing that I know about, I'm telling you them because they appear real to me. If anything appears real to me, I'm going to mention about it. And if I'm going to mention it, then it's part of my story. That's a funny thing, see? It's a funny thing that I have been saying I'm making these statements and I'm telling you about what I do, what I know, what I seem to witness, what is appearing real to me. Everything's appearing real to me that I see, but what I am seeing is still only a very small fragment of what is possible, of what's possible to appear. So whatever's possible to appear, these possibilities that appear real to us, they don't happen until they happen. If there is a happening, can we proclaim a happening to happen? See, when we break it down like that, there really isn't much for anything to be substantiated. Just because I tell you that if you see this body mind, this action figure, if you see it, then you believe it. You believe this appearance because you can see it. You see this appearance of this body mind action figure. So if you see this body mind and I tell you that what you're seeing is me, then you simply take that to be real, to be true. You take that to be real and true because I'm telling you about it. So if I'm telling you about what you're seeing, then you believe that. So anything that I tell you, either you're going to believe it or not.
This is true.
So that's a funny thing right there. That's the conundrum. That's the paradox. Everything that I tell you and tell you about is either going to be taken to be real or taken to be not real. But it's taken to be both all the time.
Somebody
Everything's
said,
real and unreal, isn't it? Yeah.
oh, it's just, somebody mentioned that. It's like, same thing, similar to that. But yeah.
It's a funny thing. Everything that I witness and everything that I do seems to be
It was from
similar
an
to
Alan
everything.
Watts. This thing
Yeah.
on Alan Watts I was watching. That's what he was talking about. And
Yeah,
then,
Alan Watts. Right.
And then, what the hell? Whatever you said earlier, first thing I mentioned, that's something that Paul was talking about. So I was just like, okay, am I supposed to be getting a message? I mean, I'm not listening. I don't hear nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
Funny.
are you listening? If you're listening, but what are you listening to?
Well,
Are you
hopefully,
speaking about something, and does anything make sense that I'm saying?
well, it just depends on, I guess the closest, I guess to answer that question, I'd have to say there's this saying that by whatever name you call God, by that name he shall answer. So in some ways, I'm always listening for God. So, that's kind of how I take it. It's like, I'm not going to say everything I hear, I think, oh, yeah, that's definitely from God. But, sometimes it just has a feeling of makes sense. I was watching this World War II. I mean, people can say what they want, but whatever. I was watching this guy about, he was killing Japanese, he's World War II veteran. And he's explaining how getting out of the boat, he's talking to this dude in the boat. And then, better stop it, Molly. That's your second bowl of food now.
I want a third.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm gonna keep barking, keep giving it to me. But he said he's got out of the boat. He was talking to the guy, and then when he got in the water, he turned around. The guy's dead. And then he said that he was going on shore, and he said he heard the voice in his head, "Stop," and he just stopped. And he said right before him, this line of bullets. He said he would have been murdered. And then he went on to talk about how he killed, 12 Japanese that day. And then, he talked about shooting this woman, and, he didn't realize it was a woman until the next he's just scarfing again. Didn't realize it was a woman until the next day, but she was the North Viet Cong or whatever. That's it. You don't get any more. You can't just keep eating it. I mean, if you looked at her, you'd understand probably why she looks like she's a very
She
large
looks
dog.
beebly, doesn't she? She looks beebly.
Yeah. She probably looks like me, but in dog form. But anyways, I'm just that idea that, and then some people would say, well, then you don't have free will, and that kind of proves free will in one way, that you don't have it because he was actually stopped from dying. And then I've heard other people talk about similar things, that they just had this overwhelming voice basically telling them do this or don't do that. I've had voices tell me stuff that was like I shouldn't know, just intuitively, from a half a mile away. It's like, yeah, it was an emotional reaction, but I still shouldn't have known it. It was like somehow I was, would you stop it, Molly? No. I don't know how much you're supposed to eat, man. It's like, gee, many Christmas. Well, George usually feeds her, but hell, yeah. Her back legs weren't working very good today. It's like we had to give her some of that marijuana, and she came back, that CBD stuff.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. It's like she went from not being able to walk to walking. And then, but I don't know how long that lasts. That just probably masks the problem. You know what they say, right? You just don't know it hurts no more. Or you don't know that you're screwed up, so you just keep moving, kind of thing. That's it, Molly. No more. I'm going to close my door and you can just bark. Shit, I wish the garage was warm. I'd go out there. I got such a nice garage.
Soon it will happen.
Yeah.
Spring's around the corner, March. Next month is March. You believe that?
Yeah. I was going to show you these pictures I went and took today with the kids.
Yeah.
But when I say that, it just sounds counter to what we were just talking about.
That's all right. That's all right. That's what you went through. You experienced that.
Yeah.
You're going to share it. That's something.
I always talk about the redwoods being in our, basically our backyard. I mean, they're right behind us. You know,
they're there. We see them.
And it's like I told the kids, first I was taking pictures of them, and I said, oh heck, I better get at least one of me. People will just be saying, oh look, he's just photoshopping. Those are somebody else's kids.
Wow.
You never see him. So I took one. With my grandson. My granddaughter took the picture. It's up there,
Yeah.
It really is. It's like there's this one of my granddaughter. I said she looks she looks so small compared to the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I guess, but
By
I think
comparison.
this is it. Oh yeah, did I send that to you? Yeah, I did. Okay, that's me and my grandson in front of the tree.
Okay.
The tree.
Wow. That is a massive tree.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's one where there's a good one with her standing in front of, I think this is it.
Yeah.
She's like,
look how massive that damn tree is.
that's my granddaughter standing next to one that's those ferns are pretty big too. Okay, I'm closing my door. She's gonna make me crazy. Let's see. There's a really good picture of her in the. Let's see. Can't see with my. Oh, here's my glasses.
It looks like that part of that video is looping.
Huh? Is there a video? It's a video?
Yeah, I see a video. It looks like it's looping.
Oh shit. It's probably a live shot, live video or something.
Wow, that color looks really good.
Yeah.
Some
Just
good
gorgeous,
quality.
really. That's why I said when, it's like I feel like I'm in paradise already, I was telling my daughter, I said, in the Bible it says God kicked us out of the Garden of Eden, but it never said he kicked us out of Eden. So yeah, just the garden. Oh yeah, this is a picture of her and she's posing. That's a different tree behind us. Oh, you didn't see the other ones. Yeah, that's them. Yeah. Boy, I know she can't be starving. I think she's pretty spoiled more than anything. Yeah, that's those redwoods there that I showed you those pictures. That's where they made the movie Return of the Jedi, or one with the little Ewoks, the forest
Oh yeah.
scene. Yeah, that's George's brother actually hung out with the Chewbacca and all them and Luke Skywalker and when they were up here at the well, it used to be over there, ship ashore, but the Indians bought it now. I mean, it closed down and then they bought it. It was their land. I mean, originally, but they
Man,
repurchased their land that was taken,
those
basically.
trees are huge, though.
Right?
Those
Isn't that
are
incredible?
massive. That is incredible.
See, I thought as long as you get like a shot of a person, you get an actual size of it all. It's like if you just take because I have other pictures where there's no people in it, and it just looks. I mean,
Yeah.
You don't really get the depth or whatever you call
Yeah,
it.
the dimension. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, I smoke weed, you know that, but my aunt, one of my aunts, it's why are you always so happy? And then, oh, you smoke weed. Now I know why. I was like, I don't think that's why, man, but okay, maybe you're right. It's like, oh yeah, I'm enlightened. Got me a joint.
Lighten up, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Whatever it takes, I guess. It's like, I was thinking today, how sometimes ego kind of tries to make you feel like you're lofty, that, oh, I made this wonderful connection with the God, and I'm all this stuff, and
Uh-huh.
so I was going through some of that a little bit, and I lost my top because it's sort of embarrassing to be so honest. Because but in the same way, I have some, which I know you can't they say you can't understand God or everything or nothing or anything like that, but one thing that I had a kind of a interesting idea, maybe everybody always knew it, but one thing that used to bother me in the Bible was when Jesus would say, if you've seen the Father, you've seen me, you know? And it's like, well, just because he's, you know, they say he's the son of God, and, you know, God put his, you know, whatever, impregnated Mary, so to speak, however, divinely immaculate conception, whatever. To me, I looked at it from a different, just listening to his words. It's like, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And all of a sudden I realized, after listening to the Hindus talk about, you know, God, you are God, God is in
Yeah.
you. It's like, he was God, he was self-actualized. He was God realized. He realized God in himself. So in that way, if you've seen him, you've seen the Father. They're one. They're the same thing. You know, you are God, he is God, the same thing. You know, and it's
Right.
like, I was like, in that sense, it made sense to me finally. Because it's like, just because you've seen my dad doesn't mean you've seen me. So, you know, it's like, that's how my brain would work with that. But thinking in a spiritual sense, or, you know, that I still, you know, I know that people don't have to agree with me, and I don't give a shit. They can not agree with me. But when I think of God, I think of all these little beings and people, and you know, I think like all those little pieces make up God. You know, the trees, the animals, all the energy. It's all God energy. You know,
Yeah.
and so, and like I said, I don't. And when I realized that, to me, when I think about it, it's like, wow, just in some ways realizing that you are that energy, or part of that. Well, you know, same difference really, because you're not separated from it. So you are it, just like, you know, the wave in the ocean, right?
That's
I mean,
right. You're
you're
all of it.
yeah, I'm a wave, but I'm also part of that ocean, you know, kind of thing. It's like, you know, so my root is the ocean.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't.
All of that makes perfect sense. It really does.
Yeah. You know, and like I was talking to these people in this meeting. I got an invitation to a meeting. A lady sent me an invitation that she never showed up to the meeting. I wasn't sure exactly how to take that. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, it's nothing, I'm sure, you know, it's like, but you know, if my mind wanted to play with it, you know, it tried to a little bit, like, well, what does that mean? She's trying to get rid of you. It's like, what the fuck, man? Why would you think such stupid shit sometimes? You know, I sit back, I have these, I don't know if I have them, but these thoughts happen. And, you know, it's like, you know, then there's like this other voice that goes, what the hell? But, you know, it's like, just, I guess, just acknowledge them and move on, right? Some are
Yeah.
silly. Mm. Yeah, but it was, the point was about the meeting. Of course, I got sidetracked because, you know, I'm an airhead. Then my dog's whining. I'm trying not to be distracted by her. Poor old dear.
Huh.
Yeah. In some ways, it's easy to think of this as a dream because I dream a lot. You know, it's
Yeah.
the same. Like I was trying to tell somebody, or maybe it was you. I said, but I felt silly saying it. I said it's, you know, after listening to Swami, somebody, you know, he pointed out, you know, he said, recognize, you know, the sleeping, this body, the sleeping body, the dreaming body, And and then anyways, it gave me a different insight to seeing that's the same person that's there is the same person that's here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Same experience or whatever.
When you go to sleep and you dream, that's still you.
Yeah. Wake up, it's still me. I'm still here, damn it. Everywhere I go, there I am. I can't get away from me. That's
There's no
crazy, dude,
escape.
because
Yeah.
Paul was talking to shouldn't say it, but somebody in one of the meeting or sad songs that was going on mentioned that somebody had experienced somebody had killed themselves, right? And
Yeah.
Paul shared his experience with a family member committing suicide. And then just saying that, it just reminded me of when I said that. It's like, I can't get away from myself. It's like they get trapped in that idea that I feel. I mean, I don't really know anything. They get trapped in that they can't get out of that. You know what I mean? That little dilemma, like I was just
Yeah.
playing out jokingly, but for them, it's a certain people.
The Chinese torture.
Yeah, right. It's like
Yeah.
they just can't get away from their thoughts. They can't stop their thoughts. It drives them crazy. They can't distance themselves from that.
But
Like,
then
when,
these thoughts that are being entertained, if we notice that they're not ours, then we have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They have no substantiation. If we don't entertain a thought and we let that thought go, then it has no ground to stand on. It has no foundation. A thought has no foundation. A thought can only be thought about by a thinker. And the moment that thought is thought about by the thinker, then that is what provides the precipitous of the thought to become real to the thinker. If the thought is not held in the mind of the thinker, then that thought cannot be so, or that thought cannot be entertained. And the thought cannot be entertained anymore, then it doesn't really matter, does it? Of course not, because the thought is no longer held. A thought is thought to be held within the mind of the thinker. See, notice taking that thought and then proclaiming that thought is thought about by a thinker. Well, if you're to drop that thought and to claim that there is no thinker anymore, then the thought is no longer thought about by that thinker, is it? Because the moment that the thought is no longer thought about, then the thought has no bearing on anything.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, that's why I think people want to get out of it. They can't stop their thoughts, or they feel their thoughts or whatever. Somehow
That's because they believe them. They
Yeah,
believe that those thoughts are theirs. So they
right.
proclaim those thoughts. They claim them and say, yeah, that's my thought. I thought about that. I thought about
And
this. I thought about that. Yeah.
when I was talking about that group is what I realized is that it seems to me anyway that a lot of anxiety when I was listening to it is like anxiety is when people worry about what's going to happen in the future, and then it's like depression. There is people that are depressed about mostly what's happened to them in the past. I'm sure they can probably conjure up depression about, oh, I'm not going to have whatever tomorrow. But that's more of an anxiety because you're worrying about, you're creating angst for something that's not there. And depression is feeling depressed about what's happened in the past. I'm pissing on right now.
Nothing really
Right.
happened in the past either, though.
I guess.
If we're saying that an event occurred in the past, did that event really happen?
Well,
Well,
that's only if you believe
if
in the
nothing,
eternal now, right?
if nothing's happening, okay, if nothing's happening right now, if everything just appears to be happening, then that's the appearance of it happening. Now,
Oh,
if we thought about something that happened in the past, what is the past? Well, the past is time. See, we're
yeah.
taking time and taking a moment that already happened. Let's say yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Yesterday or the day before is an idea. It's a concept.
Mhm.
And it's not happening. All these things that we think about, they're really not happening. Tomorrow's not happening. Yesterday's not happening. Well, what is
I'm in
really
your
happening?
yesterday. I'm in your yesterday.
Yeah,
It's still
you're in my past.
Saturday.
Yeah.
It's
But
Saturday for me.
that's a funny thing. How can I proclaim? How can I claim that I have a past or I have a present or a future? Past, present, or
Guess we only
future.
have now, huh?
Well, that's another story. Yeah, I could tell
What
the
now?
story. I could tell the story about now. I could tell the story about yesterday. I could tell the
Yeah.
story about tomorrow. But see, these are just all conjurings. I could conjure anything, really,
Yeah.
and come
Damn
up
it.
with all kinds of thoughts and ideas and stories and entertain them. But that's
So,
all that's
Richard,
really being done. Yeah.
I want to talk about the suicide thing. It really
Yeah.
troubles me a bit.
Uh-huh. But if
You think
somebody
things are
takes,
just meant to be?
well, if somebody takes their own life, I mean, what? Just think of how much will that person conjured up. So much will to be able to do that. To
Sounds
be
like a
able to
nightmare to me.
take their own life. Now, and we put it that way. If we
Sounds like
say
a nightmare.
that we're taking our own life, what does that mean? Well,
Well,
we really don't have a life of our own to lead. We just think we do. So if we think we're taking our own life, is that really what's happening?
well, when I tried to kill myself and I got institutionalized, they told me I attempted murder.
Yeah,
And I laughed. Like, again, I still find it funny because I
because
was like,
they put it in the third person.
yeah, so
Yes.
by me trying to kill this body is attempted murder.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck are you guys? Anyways, I still think it's funny. So yeah, fucking suicide, man. I wanted to die. I felt hopeless, and I took 150 Tylenols, and I had to drink a whole bunch of charcoal, man. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. To detox you.
Yeah, it's supposed to absorb it. Yeah.
Goes through you like water. I'm telling you, the minute you finish a bottle, you're hitting the toilet. First, they tried to make me vomit. I know I'm making ownership of all these I statements and me statements. I'm just trying to not what do you call it? I feel like a moron when I'm talking because I've watched videos when I'm sitting here. And I can't speak normal because I'm worried about identification as a body, you know? So,
Yeah. If you just drop all of that, what are you left with? Nothing. See,
yeah.
all these thoughts that are entertained, we take them, we take these thoughts and we proclaim them to be our own thoughts, and then
Hey,
that's what's apparently appearing to happen. But all these things that we think of, all these thoughts that we think of, none of them are happening. It's all what's not happening. What's not happening are just
So
thoughts and ideas that are being entertained. That's all that's happening there.
me and my granddaughter were talking,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure we've got it figured out. We narrowed it down. She said I gave two options. We're either in comas or we're on an alien ship. She chose alien ship, but I said okay.
Huh.
So there we are. So we're dreaming on some alien ship, obviously in cryogenics or something, dreaming of something. Dreaming of dreaming of dreaming.
A dream within a dream,
Yeah.
within another dream.
And I played a video game. That's what I fucking find so amusing is that whole damn scenario. I played the video game. It was Final Fantasy, something fucking rather. That concept right there. And then they didn't want to wake up because then everybody in the dream would be lost.
Just think about that for a minute. If you're playing a video game and you really get into it, you kind of lose sense of time
Yeah.
when
You
you
did.
get absorbed into the game.
Yeah.
That is really an interesting concept when you think about it. If that's the case, then could it be said about what could be also, can that still apply to this reality? This
Yeah, I
reality,
totally.
if it's a dream, can we wake up from it?
Yeah, I don't know. People say no because Maya won't let you out. It's an impossible trap. I think nobody's asked nicely. I want to wake up. God dang it, let me out, let me out. It's like, has anyone asked, hey, great Maya, grant me the privilege of waking up? You know? No answer. Still here. Ah, shit, man. Maybe they have. Maybe that's what all those monks are doing in those lotus positions or whatever they call those. Yeah, just a bunch of little godlings running around. Jesus even said so. You're all children of you're all children of God. I mean, it's like looking back at what he says in a different light. It's so different.
Yeah.
Thinking of him as a conscious being rather than, you know, uh, and then Buddha and Krishna, all three of them. That's how I actually I think of them as all God aware, self enlightened, God conscious, whatever the
Yeah.
proper term would be.
Uh-huh.
Because it just makes sense, that they're God realized, that they all seem to be saying the same thing, in their own twist.
That's
It's
right.
like I'm hearing the same thing. It's like, I don't know how much power Google has. Come on now, Google.
All the non-duality, all the different non-duality speakers you listen to sound like they're
Yeah.
saying similar things, and they are.
Well,
They
a
really
lot of
are
them,
saying the
yeah.
same thing in various ways.
And
You hear
but I don't always agree with all of them, and but
Yeah.
in the same way, and I respect the fact that I don't have to agree with them, and that's okay. It's like I might not be able to understand them yet, or it just doesn't work for me at this time. So I try to put that in prospect. So because like I said, I can't accept that. I, I could part of me can understand being so tricked, basically, by consciousness or subconsciousness or the mind or Maya or whatever you want to call it. But in the same way, I can't imagine that, like I already said once before, man. It's like you can't have it both ways. You know, it doesn't make sense. And you know, that's not okay, because nothing is nothing, and it just depends on what do you mean by nothing. You know, it's like what is nothing? No thing or nothing? You know, what is it? Is it no thing thinging, or is nothing nothing? Is
Oh,
space? What is space? You know,
oh,
I mean,
no
really.
thing is everythinging as everything is no thinging.
Yeah.
That's
See,
what's happening.
right now it's word salad to me, honestly. If I'm gonna
Yeah.
be blunt, you know, it's like,
Uh-huh.
because I it doesn't compute at this moment. And that's okay. You know, I don't want to and you know, and then I was listening to this other monk who was talking about, you know, don't go into a meeting, you know. Oh, I know. Oh, I understand what he's saying. Oh, okay. I don't, yeah, I get it. Oh, you know, it's like he hasn't even told you anything yet. You're already, oh, I got it. So you're not
Yeah.
actually listening. So I try to work on that too sometimes to, you know, be aware of not do that. Like, oh, I understand already. Yeah, that's familiar. Even though I find I do have a habit of doing that.
Yeah.
Because I see so much similarities and shit. And I know I shouldn't do that, because that's what I'm hearing. Yeah. What is this inner guru? You know, it's like I heard about the inner guru, and then I also heard someone else talking. And it's like, exactly. I totally agreed what they were saying. It's like, yeah, but you might have a guru, but I got a damn psycho running my ward. You know?
Yeah.
And he's telling me to do bad shit. It's like, so when the hell's the guru get here and the damn psycho get kicked out, you know? In a sense of like being a drug addict, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, sticking needles in your arm. You can't, you know, you can't, I don't think you can go from one day being a heroin addict and, oh, I'm just enlightened the next day. You know, there's a lot of shit you're going to go through to get there, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
you can. Hell, I mean, Jesus and God and all them and miracles work in mysterious ways, but I'd be very reluctant to believe something of that nature. You know, I found Jesus and now I'm cured. You know, in 24 hours, you know, I just, God bless you if you could. It just would be hard to, you know, I'd be judgmental, to be honest. I'd say, bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, unless somebody's going around going, you're healed, you're healed, you're healed. I just see a trail of people going, oh. No, okay, then maybe I'm like, yeah, okay, shit, yeah, it's happening. But you know, who the hell? Why would you expect that, really? You know?
Yeah. Well, none of it's happening, is it?
Nope. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of those stories were misinterpreted. You know, it's like I haven't thought about the old Jesus stories for a while. I tell my grandkids, it's like I used to, you know, I was into the Bible. I read it a lot. I don't remember it anymore, but I did at the time. I was did a lot of drugs and read the Bible.
Yeah.
Basically. And then, you know, I look like a dang long haired, you know, goatee wearing, and people come over and buy drugs, and I'd preach to them about something out of the Bible. I think I was doing the Lord's work. They might be buying drugs, but I'm inspiring them in the spirit. Yeah. And you know, I don't know. It's just silly. But like I said, you know, just things make a different kind of sense. I don't know if that's just age or, you know, just a new understanding. You know, it's like all those years I never thought about, like I mean, I probably told you before that, you know, my mom made me a pillow. She used to do this Amway or Amquay, or I don't know, it's some little thing that came in ink that came in like this bottles, and they draw on shit, and no, not shit, but you know, pillowcases and things like that, the material. And this, my pillow, she did it. It said, "Behold, for the kingdom of God is within you." You know, and it showed Jesus, you know, doing this, and I'd sleep on that pillowcase and go, how can a kingdom be in me, man? I don't get it. And then, you know, it's like you get it when you're like 50 years old. It's like, shit, kind of missed the boat, buddy. You know. Whatever.
One quotation that's very memorable to me is, "Be in the world, but not of the world." And what that means is, yeah, we're appearing in this world, but we're not really of it.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're not of it, because it's temporary. It's a temporary, temporal temporariness. It's a
Didn't Jesus say
temporal
he's
temporariness in
same
time.
thing? Didn't he
I'm
say
sorry?
he's in it but not of it? I said, didn't
Yeah,
Jesus say he's in it but not of this world?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I just said. One
Oh, I thought
quotation
you.
that Jesus
Yeah.
said is one that comes to mind, and that's the one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Is that be in the world, but not of it.
Yeah.
So that right there kind of encapsulates everything, really. To me, it does. And when I say to me, I'm referring to this appearance of this body, mind, action figure. This appearance, this body, mind, action figure that I call me, is what I'm referring to. But that's just it. This
Me the
appearance.
Richard. I love
Yeah.
it when Paul says, Paul calls everybody Paul. I was messing around. I go, I'm Paul. I'm Paul. I'm Paul. My middle name is Paul. You know? It really is about me. God dang it.
Well, actually, this is everything Pauline.
Yes, Pauling. There you go.
That's another way to put it.
Yes, dang it. Paul's even in this
Anything that
conversation.
appears is ing. Anything that appears is an activity. It's an action.
We should find out. We should find out what time it is in Hawaii and send thoughts to him. Hey, we're thinking of you, dude. I know you're probably surfing right now. Ah, shit. Yeah. Scuba diving, doing something fun. I hope, Lord, why not? I'm enjoying my life. You know, it's like, you know, I really am. I'm grateful. I was even telling the kids that. I said, yeah, I'm at this moment in time, my life is good, you know. I don't know how long that'll last, you know, until tidal wave go wash our house away, you know. But you know, I would hope it doesn't, but you never know what life's gonna bring you. But I'm happy now. You know, I had a miserable life. You know, we had a terrible house, and you know, but now we have a nice house, decent car. Life seems good. Yeah.
It's just a matter of maintaining that now.
Yeah. Will it?
Maintain it. Yeah.
Jesus, I was so miserable the other day. Oh my God. The last 2 days, actually. Terrible. Such a downward. I actually wonder, it's like, am I fucking manic or something, man? Kind of high, you know, feeling good about everything. And then it's like 2 days of, blah. It's like, was that some sort of like spiritual come down or what? I don't
It's
know.
just, they're just apparent appearances of a condition of a body mind. That's all of the body mind goes through all these different conditions depending on the environment.
Yeah. I
The
probably got
environment has a lot of bearing on how the body mind is going to appear, how it's going to react, the feelings that it feels.
it makes no difference really.
Yeah, but if you just witness, just observe the body mind in third person.
Oh.
That's what a non-dualist does. Apparently,
Oh.
a non-dualist will always look
Think
upon
that.
the body mind action figure in third person. That's them. Yeah, they're going through that. That's that body mind appearance going on over there. That's third person.
That's separation.
Yeah, that's separation, but at the same time, it's recognizing that you're not that. You're not that separation. So if you're recognizing everything that it's doing, it's not really so. Everything that it does, it tries to formulate a thought or idea, tries to take an idea, a thought, and make it so, make it real, make it true somehow. So thoughts need us to be real. Thoughts require a thinker. So if thoughts require a thinker, are you going to proclaim that you are that thinker? And that's what's happening. That's what apparently appears to happen, that a thinker will proclaim its own thoughts and claim that those thoughts are theirs, their own. And that's how it does that. That's how it works.
More of I'm gonna astral project into this river of knowledge. I'm gonna swim in a river of knowledge, man. Yeah. I'll let you know when I get there. So far, I'm still in the rocks. No knowledge yet. Just joking. What a fanciful idea. All these crazy thoughts.
Yeah. We can entertain a whole series of them.
Yeah.
We could go through all kinds of thoughts, but that's all that they are.
Hey, did you say you had COVID last time?
No, I said that my wife did. She went through it. It's already gone now. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
But I don't seem to catch colds anymore. I used to get colds quite a bit, quite often, but now that I'm staying home, I don't catch colds anymore.
Right.
I
People
think
carry.
by going out in public, I think by taking our body mind and going out there and mingling them on other bodies, I think that's how we pick them up. We pick up the germs and the viruses that way.
Yep. They party. Say, hey, how you doing? And shit. Yeah. So many ideas. I had this one idea of like, because it's like when you think about how the body is actually just a bunch of different, like, there's actually bugs living on us and different shit going on, and it's like shit living on us, or whatever on the body. And I thought, man, isn't it strange? It's like if all that was really controlling what's going on, and it's like somehow, and it's convinced me that I'm the one that's doing all this, but it's really the one controlling everything. And it's just a big pile of bugs that's moving and generating. And it's like, creepy. It may be true in some aspects too. I'm hungry, feed me. I mean, you're hungry, feed me, feed you. You're thirsty, I'm thirsty. Go eat, go drink. You know, what's funny is it really doesn't seem that far fetched because I don't know if you ever seen this movie, Lords of Illusion.
Don't think so.
It's this guy he ends up having magical powers, right? First, it's just a magician with, maybe some weird, spooky stuff, and then he met, uh, I guess the master or something was resurrected, and he said something that, at least is how I remember it. And he goes, "Do you want to see how a god sees you?" And then so he stuck his fingers like in the guy's head, right? Like his fingers went into his head. And it's like all of a sudden he was like, I don't know if it was shit or just a pile of bugs or whatever, but and it's like it's like I was like, wow, I wonder. It's like it's like, is that what it would be like if if you were really, if that was like that scenario, if that, you know what I'm saying? Just entertaining, crazy shit.
Yeah. But once it is recognized that nothing is happening, then everything appears. Everything, absolutely everything appears as an apparent appearance of everything. It's the infinite appearing finite. Infinity appearing finitely. So if the infinite is appearing finitely, that means it's a temporary appearance. And that which is temporary is just a temporary appearance. So if everything is temporarily appearing, then that means that we too are a temporary appearance for a time. And it may feel like a long time. So many years going by. And then we try to imagine that. So we try to imagine time going by. Okay, we can observe a clock and the seconds going by and ticking. That's observing the now, the present moments going by. But are they really going by? See how we take time and we give it the life that it didn't have. It didn't have a life until we thought about it. We gave it the life. So everything that we see, everything that we look at, everything we gaze upon, everything we witness, everything that we observe is given a life. So are we giving life to the thoughts and ideas that are being entertained? Sure we do. Thoughts that are being entertained are taken. So we take a thought and we entertain it. And so we give it life. We give everything the meaning that it has. If we give meaning to life, does that mean life then has meaning? Life only has meaning to the degree of life that we give it. So we could give life its meaning. But if we don't think about a thought or entertain an idea or a thought, then it's no longer, the validity of it it's no longer substantiated. It's no longer there. And so if we drop that thought and don't think about it, then the thought no longer can affect us. Nothing affects us, really. No thing affects anybody. Nothing affects anybody. But if it does affect anybody, the effectiveness is based on the meaning that the thinker gives it. The thinker gives it meaning, gives a thought meaning. If the thinker gives a thought meaning, then that's all the meaning that it will ever have. It won't have any meaning unless the thinker gives it meaning. Am I the thinker of my thoughts? Not necessarily. There's a body mind thinking about thoughts and considering them, but that's all that is. It's just an apparent appearance of a body mind thinking thoughts. And it's all it does. Just entertains thoughts and ideas. That's all it's doing. But that's all it's doing. Entertaining thoughts. Takes one thought, entertains it, drops it, picks up another one. Goes on and on that way. And that's just apparently appeared to be what happens. Is there anything else to do? Yeah, you ask yourself, well, is there anything else that I could do? Is there a doing that needs to be done? Does anything need to be done? Well, if you think about it, nothing really needs to be done about everything. So if nothing needs to be done about everything, then how does everything appear as it does? It just does. It apparently appears to be appearances. Everything appears as an appearance, but that's all it's doing. It's just appearing as appearances. And it's constant, always. It's always in all ways, all ways that are thought about, and even those ways that are not thought about. So it's everything that appears real and unreal. Everything that's real and unreal, everything that's observable and unobservable. Everything that's knowable and unknowable. That which can be known and that which cannot be known, the unknown. But that's an interesting paradox, isn't it? It's really interesting in itself that anything can appear real. Anything can appear real for a time, but temporarily so.
Yeah.
This doesn't make it real. It's just real for a time. It's just temporarily real. So in that way, it's unreal. It's unreal because of its temporariness. And it's real because it apparently appears to be real to us for a time. And time is what causes things to appear real. So if time is causing things to appear real, they appear real to us, but only temporarily. absolutely everything is temporary. If everything's temporary, then that means that this is not the final appearance.
Yeah.
There are no final appearances of anything. Everything is continuously existing and appearing, and it will go on and on that way. Nothing is final. There is no finality to anything. Everything continues on, and it will. Everything will continue on to appear as it does, however it appears to be. Just apparent appearances of everything and no thing appearing, temporally, temporarily appearing for a time. So since there is time,
Ah.
since we still have some time to go, then let's go with that. We'll go with however much time that we have left to appear and simply be. Now, can we know that we're being? Well, some people would say that. Some people might think, well, I exist because I know I exist. Well, how do you know that? Well, I know that because I'm entertaining the thought. Are you really? Are you entertaining that thought and idea that since you know you're real, then that is what makes you real because you're giving it the meaning. You're giving that thought, that idea that you are real meaning. That meaning is that you say that I am real. Okay, if you're saying you're real, what are you real to? Well, I'm real to myself. Well, are you really? Are you really real to yourself? See how you can kind of spin that. You can spin it so many different ways. You spin a thought or an idea and take it to be so many different things. Or you could take it not to be that or anything. Then the thought is already dropped. And so you're not going to give it any meaning. Either you give a thought meaning or you don't. There is so much freedom in that. It's highly liberating. It really is. It's very, very liberating to say that I can entertain a thought. The I that's entertaining a thought is just that. The I or the me. The I or the me that entertains thoughts is just entertaining thoughts. But that's all it's doing. Just entertaining thoughts. Or it cannot entertain thoughts. You simply drop them. And appear. Appear as an apparent appearance of temporariness. That temporal temporariness that's appearing to be is just an apparent appearance of that. And that's all will ever be for a time. When I say for a time, well, that's what we apparently appear to be in now. Right now, in time, 13th day of the second month of the year, February, and of the year 2022.
Yeah, I just disagree. I think it's 12, 2/12, 2022. I'm just messing with you.
Well, yeah, you could do that. I mean, you can entertain so many different thoughts and ideas, but that's all that's being done.
Yeah,
Just entertaining thoughts. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's going to be apparently appearing to happen anyway.
I mean, it's not like we're really in any different space. I mean, clearly, you're on that end, I'm on this end, no matter what time they call it.
Yeah. But we break down the planet that way. We
Right?
break down the planet into segments. Yeah, we do that. We categorize absolutely everything, really. The conjured self conjures up innumerable ideas all the time. In fact, that's what its life is comprised of. Its very existence is comprised of thoughts and ideas that it entertains constantly, constantly entertaining thoughts, and it keeps itself intact by doing so. By entertaining the thoughts, it keeps itself intact because it believes that. If it believes it, then it knows it. It knows that it's real. If it knows it's real, then it's true to it. It's true to itself that it has its own body, mind, action figure. It has its own life to live. It's living its own life, and so are you. You're living your own life as I'm living mine. And my story is different than your story. And the differences exist because we're entertaining them. We entertain differences. The thought that I'm thinking about, can that be thought by you? Can you take a thought, that same thought, and entertain it in the same way? Well, in a similar way, you could. So you see, thoughts that are entertained can be shared, and a thought that's shared is thought to be shared, and it goes on and on like that. Over and over, just by what you refer to a word salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. Everything is a word salad. Absolutely everything's word salad. Speaking of words, various concepts, ideas, thoughts. Is that all that our life will ever be? Well, apparently appearing to be a life that is being lived, but that life is lived through the appearance of it. So the body mind's appearing for a time, and that's its story. And so it sticks to that story. It sticks to the story of it appearing, apparently appearing to be. To be what? Well, apparently appearing to be, and then you insert your name. You provide the name that you were given, and you say that you're given a name because when you're born, the moment that you're born, and then you have a birth certificate, and then it goes on its way. But that's a story, and that's the beginning of that story. Once upon a time, there was Richard Trevino, who was born on January 28, 1963 at 3:29 a.m. Pacific time. And that was the beginning of its life. And it will live a life for a time and then no longer appear.
1900 and what? When you were born? 1900 and what?
1963.
1963.
Yeah. 1963.
That's when you
Yeah.
picked up that model.
Yeah. That's when this particular model was picked up, and that's what it's apparently appeared to be.
Yeah.
And that's the way it appears so far. However it's appearing, that's how it's appearing. It's appearing however it will appear. And that's just it. But that's all it is. Just an apparent appearance. Will it always be appearing this way? No. It's gradually dissipating as every moment goes by, but that's what's called the age process. We're aging. What ages?
Yeah.
Well, everything ages. Everything has an age. How does everything have an age? Well, everything appears to be apparently appearing to have an age of certain duration. It's duration of age, duration of time going by, amount of time accumulated is what age is considered to be.
Yeah.
Age is considered to be the accumulation of years, accumulation of time. And that's a story. That's another story being told. So either we could share that story with others and say, well, this is my story. This is what this body mind has gone through. I can remember a certain moment in time going back in the past. And so the past thinks about ourselves as a body mind. We can only conjure the idea of a body mind because that's what we believe we were or we are. We believe we're that body mind. So we conjure up a visualization or an appearance of a younger version. We conjure up this idea and this thought of a younger version of ourselves in the past. It's younger because the past was a time when we were younger. See, that's an interesting thing. You just notice that. Notice the story of the body mind. If we go to the past, we're going back. We're going back in time, remembering when we were younger. We were younger because time going by. As time goes by, we accumulate more years. And that's what apparently appears to go on, what apparently appears to happen. It's just an apparent appearance, just apparently appearing that way. But the past was a life that we lived. The life that we're living is the life we're living about the past? Well, it's that and more. It's about a threefold principle, really. A threefold principle of the past, present, and future. Those are timelines. Threefold principle of space and time. And that's another story that could be told. Story of Earth. So everything is the infinite appearing finitely. If everything is that, then that is what we appear to be. We appear to be a temporary appearance of a body mind that's going to continue apparently appearing until it no longer appears. If it no longer appears, does that make it dead or unreal or no longer visible? Well, of course. That's what apparently appears to be happening, but does that mean it will no longer exist? Well, just because it does no longer appear doesn't mean it's non-existent. Non-existent could be that which is unknowable, that which is unseen, unobservable. But that's the extent of what apparently appears to be so and not so, real and unreal, observable and unobservable, knowable and unknowable, both all at the same time. That's really interesting to know. The average time for a satsang to be held is normally about an hour and a half,
Oh shit.
2 hours. And then you
think
notice
I'm like-
after about an hour or 2 hours, everything that needed to be stated was stated. And then it gets a lot quieter. The pauses begin to increase. The pauses I'm referring to are the pauses of the satsang. When statements are no longer stated. When anything is no longer stated. Nothing is no longer being said. In other words, everything that was going to be said was already stated. And if we continue to say anything else, then that is just a regurgitation of what was already said. Then you wonder, have I said enough? Have I stated all there is to say about everything that appears to be so? Everything that appears to be true. Well, it's true for a time, temporarily. But what is true? Well, stories. Stories can be either true or untrue. A story that is told. But that's all that's apparently appearing. Everything's apparently appearing to be an appearance of something. But that's all that is.
Hey Richard, I'm probably gonna call tonight. I was falling
Yeah.
asleep on you. I don't know if you-
That's why I'm saying that's the average. This is the average duration of a satsang.
Oh, okay.
That's the amount of time that's going by just now. Yeah.
Nice.
That's okay. It goes on and on, doesn't it? Sure it does. But that's all
Yes.
right. Another day, another time.
Another sad song.
Yeah, another satsang. Right. Another satsang. All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna let you go now, and we'll see. Maybe we'll do this again next weekend.
Yep. It was good talking to you, Richard. I appreciate it.
Okay,
Taking your
take
time.
care. That's all right. Take care now.
Have a good night or
You
good
too.
morning.
You too. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay.